The 2023 housing market in San Antonio is definitely crashing. Rates are now at an all-time high. We are seeing them come down slightly, but not too much. Comparing last year and obviously March of 2022, rates were a lot lower. The Feds obviously decided to increase the rates, even though everyone says that they don't really dictate or control the rates. I think we all know that they do. But so with the rates being different or shifting in 2022, we are now seeing the rates steadily staying at about 5.5 to maybe even like the upper sevens is what we were seeing. But what happens really when rates go up is you don't have as much buying power as you would normally have, like you would have in 2019, and moving through 2022. So because the rates are higher, you're not going to have as much buying power. So you can typically expect when rates are higher, let's say that you had applied for a home loan back in 2019, 2020, and you qualified for, let's say, about 500,000. You can expect to qualify for half of that with rates being as high as they are, obviously considering your DTI. So those are all things that you're going to want to consider as far as, even though the rate is high, is it a good time to buy? Absolutely. I think that it's always a good time to buy real estate. It's just, what is your preference? What are you looking for? Would you rather wait till rates go down a little bit more? Just different things like that you want to think about. I don't know. Let me know what you think about buying a home in 2023. Is it something that you're wanting to do? There's a lot of programs out there for first-time home buyers. I did do a little bit more research on rates and what I guess everyone else is thinking or seeing, and it's not just my own opinion, even though I've been in real estate for about 6 years now. You just never know what's going to happen. But after doing a little bit more research, I did find an article. It is an article from bankrate.com. So here it says that the Mortgage Brokers Association predicts that mortgage rates will fall to 5.3% by the end of 2023 as the economy weakens. But the U.S. economy has still continued to grow despite numerous predictions that it will soon run out of steam. Let me know what you guys think. I hope and pray honestly that we see a shift in the economy. I don't know who they're talking about as far as the economy being great. I mean, it's not as bad, I guess, as it could be, but I definitely think things could be better. So let's take a dive into the market and really look at and see what the market is in comparison from 2022 to 2023. I'm going to give you hard facts. Like, we're going to look at a couple of graphs and really just take a deeper dive into the market so that you guys get a better understanding of what is happening and know that I kind of know what I'm doing out here. So I'm going to screen share with you guys and we're going to kind of go over everything. Be sure that if you have any questions for me, just leave them down in the comments below and I will do my best to try to get those answered to you. But of course, if you have any questions or want a deeper explanation of the housing market before you purchase or thinking about moving out here, just give me a call, send me an email, or shoot me a text. So let's go ahead and get into the screen share so we can get into the nitty gritty of what is happening in the housing market in San Antonio. Okay, so here what I'm sharing with you guys is InfoSparks, and it's part of the MLS membership that I get for being a realtor. But I want to go ahead and just kind of show you guys a couple of different things as far as what trends we're seeing over the last couple years. So this gives everything for the last 3 years. So 2021, 22, and 23. So here your average cost of home in 2021 was $253,000. And now we're seeing it in 2023, average cost of home is $320,000. That's a pretty big spike in just about 2-year time frame. Again, I mean, the market definitely shifted a lot. I'm sure everybody knows, just it was so wild. I mean, it was just a really crazy time to be in this industry, whether you were a listing agent, a buying agent, or you were a buyer trying to buy a home during these crazy housing crisis years. So you'll definitely start to see, and what I have seen on my end is prices are starting to shift a little bit. Prices aren't really going up as fast as they were before. So that's really good. We are back into a buyer's market, which is great. So here's your average cost of homes. Now we can go and actually look on the MLS to see how many average days on the market. So we're seeing a little bit of change as far as from 2022 to 2023. Average days on market is 47 days. Why is this important to you as a buyer? As a buyer, this is super important to you because you're going to want to know how many days that house that you're going to put an offer on has been on the market. And if your agent is pretty aware and pretty familiar with how to structure your offer, right? That is going to be one of the first things we look at. I know that's one of the first things I look at when I'm pulling comps on trying to help a buyer and trying to figure out how much are we going to put this offer in on this home, because unfortunately we are still seeing sellers have that mentality that we are in that crazy housing crisis and being a little bit greedy. We are seeing those houses sit there a little bit longer. Some of them have to, like, some of us realtors have to like have that serious like come to Jesus moment. Let me sit down and have a conversation with you kind of thing. Nonetheless, I mean, 47 days on the market, that's pretty good. I did look at it a couple days ago. It was showing a little bit more days on market. I don't know if because now we're in a new month that it's a little bit different, but on average, 47 days. I'm sure like sometime last year and the years prior, we never saw houses on the market for 60 days like that. I don't know where they got that information, but maybe when they're considering the new builds or something like that, maybe why it's kind of like that. But that's what you can expect is average days on market is 47 days. Um, I mean, it's still a pretty good market, average closings that have happened. So far for 2023, we've had 35,000 sales since January 1st to honestly like the end of March. So it's a pretty steady market. I mean, it's going pretty well, but then again, Texas as a whole, I think is one of those markets that um, I think if everyone starts to suffer, we start to see other states hurt a little bit in the hard housing market. I don't know that Texas is really gonna truly feel it. Like we still have, I think I don't know where I maybe read this. Not gonna lie, I probably was like a TikTok on it, but I think I think San Antonio is like, or Texas as a whole is like like it's ranked number 2 in the top 10 like states to live in. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, so those are kind of the important things that I wanted to go over with you guys. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more information about builders and incentives and what they are doing. So builders now are offering a lot of money. Like they are throwing money at buyers to like really get you in, which is also great for you if you are a buyer. We were not seeing builders give incentives like this for a couple of years. Probably roughly about 2 to 3 years we hadn't seen builders do this. We are starting to see crazy incentives like maybe $15,000 to $30,000 off. One builder is even offering like a $10,000 gift card at closing. Like who does that? You can use these incentives for different things. Some people will use them to buy down their rate so that you're not locked in for 30 years at 6.5%. Rate buy down really just depends on several different things. We can get into that a little bit more in another video if we need to. I have another couple of colleagues that would probably like to join a video about the lending process and what to expect and things like that. But I don't want to get too much into that. But yeah, you can buy your rate down. There's different ways to use those incentives. You can essentially use them to buy down the price if you're a cash buyer and you're not needing any financing, or if you're putting a really large amount of money down already, so you don't need much financing, or you can use that towards closing costs or use it towards your down payment. So there's a lot of different incentives that they are offering right now, which is really amazing. You also do want to kind of keep in mind, sometimes builders do add these additional fees and things like that that may not really make sense, or these incentives may hurt you a little bit. But honestly, I mean, $30,000, like who does that? Like I think when we had bought our house a couple years ago, we actually sold our house, thank God, when the market was really good. But when we bought our house initially, it was right before the market started to really shift and it started to like creep up and go crazy. So we really got lucky coming in at the time that we did come in. But I mean, the builder at that time was still like they were like really wanting buyers and they were giving all these incentives. So we were lucky enough to get those incentives, and that's why I'm sharing with you, like from my own personal experience, like if you can do it, like do it. Don't hesitate to like purchase real estate. That's like one of the only things that's really going to give you any kind of equity like year after year. But we are kind of seeing this crazy shift though. So what I have noticed recently, I pull comps often, whether it's to help sellers or help buyers or whatever. So I'm in this like market 24/7. So what I am seeing though is because these builders are offering all these incentives and it's really like helping the buyers, what is it doing to the sellers? You're in a community where that the builder is still building. It kind of may affect the seller because what they bought their house for example, I pulled comps the other day on a house. So this one specifically was in the Alamo Ranch area and it's like booming and everybody wants to live there except for maybe me. But it's one of those areas that everybody wants to be in. I pulled comps for that house, and what ended up happening was the builder was offering so many incentives. They had dropped the price from half a million to like, let's say, 460, something like that, plus offering a $20,000 incentive. Oh, and by the way, let me give you this $10,000 gift card. Like that is all of what we were seeing. So when you're competing with the builder as a seller, you're competing with their incentives and they're dropping the price so quickly that now it's affecting the equity that that seller has. So the sellers are having to constantly compete with, buyers, I think I'm guilty for this is like, do I go with something that's brand new that is cheaper, or am I going to go spend a little bit more money on something that's used? I don't know. I love to like living in Texas and it's really hot. I think the only way that you'd convince me to go that route is if I bought a house with a pool already in it. Like, and I'm not talking like a little bitty like kiddie pool that you can like fold out, like an in-ground pool. That is the only way you'll get me to really consider buying a house that is pre-owned at this point, because the builder incentives are so good. Between 2019 and 2022, sellers were seeing, or homeowners really, like equity go crazy. They were seeing about 40% increase in equity, pretty much like within, I guess, between those years, right, of 2019 to 2022, they were seeing a lot of equity coming in because we were in that crazy like housing bubble and everybody was wanting to buy a house. So to be realistic with you and to be like reason with you and set these realistic expectations, if you were planning to buy a house in 2023 and you're not going to see the same equity that you saw between 2019 and 2022. It's going to go up. Obviously, you're going to have equity. It's going to be gradual, right? Which is normal in a normal market. I don't think any of us, or most of us, understand that it was not a normal market. So you will not see the 40% increase of equity in 3 to 4 years. That normally is going to take you anywhere from 12 to about 15 years on a average 30-year loan. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that homeowners are seeing, on average, now that the market is normal, is that they're seeing about an average of a 6% increase in equity per year. Well, I mean, this is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you're thinking about the housing market here in San Antonio. Again, my name is Patricia with Real Broker. And if you're thinking about moving to the area or want more information about what it's like to live here, be sure to reach out and I'd be happy to help you. Again, I will see you on the next one.